KSM Show.
I'm Kofi Boa, MP for Elembele. I endorse the KSM Show. It is the best.
Prof, yeah, we're talking about the commitment to building, and I had a story to tell. You know, recently I was at the cardio center. Thanks to what you have left there, Dr. Shibo put together a strong team of doctors, Dr. Tanko, Oche Mensa, you know, and actually had PE. They said I had PE, pulmonary embolism, right? Yeah. And they fixed me, man. So, I said, my vision.
Thanks be to God.
Yeah, because I'm quite serious. It was very, very close to, you know, checking out. So, yeah, we give God the thanks. So, thank you. But anyway, what really amazes me was that dedication that you have, that I have to do this in Ghana. And I have to build one in Ghana. And you came and made sure, actually was engaged in the physical construction. Where's the motivation from?
You know, it was Einstein who said, I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details. I think that God's mission for me was to do that. I knew it was not going to be easy. But somewhere along the line, I believe that he will raise people who will help me do that. And one of the key people who helped was Chairman Rawlings. You know, he was the chairman of the PNDC at the time. I never knew him, never spoken to him before. But behind the scenes, he worked. And the first time I saw him was on the 10th of April, 1992, when he came to commission the center.
That was the first time you saw him?
First I saw him, after we had finished everything. So his commitment to the project told me that, look, this is a person who did not do it out of political expediency, but that he believed in it. And there were others, Okoku Sapon, P.V. Obin, Mrs. Grant, Usia J. Kosiboche, and Atua Hoy, and so on. Many people. So it came to be, and you see, generally we've had very good leaders in this country, apart from with one or two exceptions. You know, they'll help you do things. President Kufuor, for example, was very instrumental in, you know, helping me rebuild Kolebu, you know, administration block and all the good things that we did, and so on. So it was not easy, but as I said,
I remember the old administration block.
Yes.
And the one that you built.
Yes.
It was a world of difference. And also, there was this story, and I'm sure it was true, that before that, there's a long lane going to Kolebu. On the right-hand side of people, the coffin makers, was like a coffin industry.
Yeah.
And I didn't know all that land was for Kolebu, that you...
All the land was for Kolebu. And the sad thing was that we had hundreds of coffin makers there. And some of them were close to our workshop. I don't know if you know where the Kolebu workshop is. And you buy wood and things for construction in Kolebu, and workers will toss them over the wall and sell them to coffin makers and so on. And, you know, imagine somebody comes to the hospital, and the first thing you see are coffins, you know, and so on. So I decided to eject them. And they took me on.
I remember.
As a person, not as chief executive. And so they took me to court, and thank God I won and we were able to clear them and start rebuilding Kolebu, not with resources from government. You know, Kolebu is a huge hospital. It's the biggest hospital in West Africa. And the third, after Soweto and Kinshasa, is the third biggest in Africa. So if we're able to organize ourselves well, we'll get all the resources, you know, too.
Because as I hear, the administration building was generated with all the funds, internally generated funds.
New administration block, yes. And the thing is that we molded all the blocks in Kolebu. And again, a lady, Teresa Yanka, an architect, she did the drawings for us. You know, there are good people in Ghana. If they know that you are doing a good job for the nation, they'll help you. So Madame Teresa Yanka did architectural drawings free, without charging us anything.
Oh, really?
And the Kolebu workers bought that thing with our labor, and it cost us just about 6 million cedis. And then we did many things, pavement stones, built a wall around Kolebu, renovated things, painted here, and all with our resources, not one city from government.
All
That is
resources internally generated.
generated resources, So I have a strong belief that this country can be rebuilt, and we are doing it. Now we have a very good president, very dedicated, who is committed, to. If you look at him, he's the embodiment of our collective dignity, and he's doing a great job. And I know that things will change. We are not going to do like that.
It's for me very fascinating to know that Korle Bu, if things are done right, can do sort of the things that you are talking about, all the buildings. It was not just the administration block.
No.
There were so many other buildings that were...
And equipment.
Equipment.
For example, we bought equipment for keyhole surgery. First time for Professor Craig Lamptey, so that we could do keyhole surgery.
What is that?
That is when somebody has an appendix or so, you don't have to do a big incision, but you make little holes, and put tubes in there, and with some screens and so on, we're able to do the surgery. And then also for the first time, we bought equipment for the neurosurgical department, so that they could do transsphenoidal operation. In other words, if you have a pituitary tumor, some tumor in the brain, they'll pass some tubes through your nose into the brain and remove that tumor. And so we made that impossible. We bought the equipment for them. Before then, you have to shave your hair, have a big scar, and so on. So we did that, and then try to reorganize the departments, give money to the trauma people, so that they can buy metals and plates to operate on their own. So organized, and things were working, So and so it's possible.
So you're doing all this. You are the godfather of heart surgery. You built a cardiothoracic center. You've done phenomenal. You actually did work with PURC. Were you the?
I was the chairman.
Chairman, yeah.
The second chairman after Kwabena.
Okay. PURC.
Or is it? I think it's third or second. I was the chairman
Red
of PURC.
Cross.
And then when Professor Mills came to power, he sat me on the radio.
He sat you on the radio?
Yeah, I had my before should get out of the PRAC. Anyway, so, and I was also president of the Ghana Red Cross Society in 2005 or thereabout.
Yeah.
And we built a new headquarters. There was some wooden block that served as the national headquarters of the Red Cross, when you are going to the beach from the courts, if you cross the road on the right side. So we got some land at Opongro behind the G Industries Midwifery Council.
Midwifery Council, yes.
Somewhere there.
That's right, the
exactly.
Golf House area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Built a new headquarters for Red Cross. And several things that we've done for this nation.
So
apart from, and also developing the Frimpong Boateng Medical Center in Tumasi, and it's also ready for heart surgery. Another hospital, that is doing quite well.
Fantastic. So, my question is this. You've done. It's phenomenal what you've been able to do for this nation. I mean, there's no question about it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Why politics? Why did you decide, let me get into politics? Because people were thinking that you have the capacity to serve the nation better. But see what you've done. Anyway, the records are there to show. I don't have to say anything. Why did you decide that politics is also an avenue to do what?
I think it gives you a broader perspective, and also probably more chances, authority to do things, and that is why, and as I said, I'm serving, representing the president at the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, because as I said earlier on, without the capacity, no country ever developed without the capacity to do things for themselves, without developing the indigenous capacity and the skills. And that is what is happening now. And a lot of things are happening, but people may not know. But as time goes on, I believe that when people, give the president another term to do his work, a lot of things will be manifest. For example, for the first time, we have a national science, technology, and innovation policy that has been approved by Cabinet. For the first time, we have a Presidential Advisory Council on Science, Technology, and Innovation. For the first time, the President has set up a research and development fund, and he is prepared to pay in up to 1% of GDP into that fund that will serve research in all areas, including the arts and so on. All areas, science, architecture, linguistics and so on. So a lot of things are happening. Even with respect to plastic, there's now a plastic policy that is going to guide us as to how we manage this plastic menace. A lot of things are happening. And also, with the changing in education, things are becoming more complex. For example, the government is innovating, putting up 35 or so TVET institutions, technical, vocational education and training institutions in Ghana. There are two major ones for Kumasi and Accra. That is going to train people in technology so that we can start doing things ourselves. And then the President has set up efforts to, upgrade STEM facilities. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, especially for girls. And so the groundwork is being done and things will pick up. And I strongly believe that this country will not be the same again. And this is where I think I can contribute in building this nation. So that, and look at what has happened with COVID-19. Suddenly, Ghana has gained attention of the international community. We are manufacturing our own personal protective equipment, gowns, masks, headgear, hand sanitizers, face shield, and so on, made in Ghana by Ghanaians. If we did not have that capacity and we're importing all these things, look at the delay and the cost, even the freight cost alone. So it pays to be able to do things for yourselves, because if you cannot feed yourselves, shelter yourself, clothe yourself, defend yourself, and heal yourself with your own means, you have no chance of long-term survival. And we need to prepare the next generations so that they can survive in this hostile, competitive world.
My question is this. Everything I'm hearing sounds so good. It's beautiful. This is what we need. And we articulate them so brilliantly. But my worry is this, Prof. Does it actually happen? Because I know going back ages, even when I was back in secondary school years ago, we were talking about these kind of things. We need to feed ourselves. Ghana, and it just grew up and then it fizzled and it grows up and it fizzles. And what everything you're saying is like beautiful. It's spot on, what the president is trying to do. But I have this, I don't know whether I've become a pessimist, that I always feel that the talking about is beautiful, but the implementation is always faulted.
Yeah, implementation is difficult, but things are happening. If you look at rice production in Ghana, there is so much rice that we are producing now from BC Valley and in the valleys across the nation, Eastern region, Ashanti region, and so on. And the only thing that we are lacking now is the milling and polishing the rice. And I believe that if we go on like this, within 5 years, we will be exporting rice. A lot of the programs are becoming very, very successful. They're planning for food and jobs. Education is changing. It's becoming more complex. That's why I pray that Ghanaians, all the political parties should really study the thing well. Because things are becoming more complex. And if we sit back and criticize all the time, when the time comes for you to take over, you become confused. So let us all see what is happening. And because we are not only growing, but we are developing. And sometimes people don't get the difference between growth and development, and I think that, growth is increasing size, but development is increasing complexity. And we don't pay attention to the increasing complexities. And we think that things are just as they are. Things have become more complex. We should all join to make things happen. Yeah.
Okay. And as I'm winding down, I'm trying to get some other things. I hear you do quite a good job playing the piano. And actually, I had set up a piano for you to play in the studio, but you're comfortable with the one in your house. So, folks, and just watch him play a song or two for us, and then we're back in the studio. So check it out as we move to hear the great Prof on the piano. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Immortal, invisible, God only. Forgive me. But this is like one of your favorite tunes. And why?
Yeah, because sometimes you come home in the evening and you sit in front of the piano and you think about the invisible God, the wise God, the one who created everything. Another hymn says, before the hills in order stood, he was there. He did everything, and he's in charge of all of us. And ultimately, we all answer to him. And that is why, I remember that I didn't come to this world with anything. Came naked, we'll go naked. But whilst we are here, we have to do the right thing, serve the needy, the last, the least, and the lost. That's what we are supposed to do.
Wow. I like that. And I believe this is my final question. You were in the news for a whole lot of wahala. Galamsey, they say the heart surgeon has now become a Galamsey surgeon. You took a lot of bashing. So going through everything that you've gone through, that we've really talked about, and looking at this surge of backlash of so much negativity, what do you feel now? Do you think, if I have to do it, I'll do it all over again, or I've now learned my lesson in Ghana and I won't engage in these things again?
No, I'll do it over again, because
You do it over again.
Yes, because you've got a clear conscience, you know you are doing the right thing. Look, even the Son of God, Jesus Christ, when he came down, people were able to put charges on him and kill him, the sinless one. You know, so if we are his follower, you meet all sorts of things. But that brings the question of whether, you know, throughout all these things, this country is worth dying for. Yes, what I would say is that Ghana is not worth dying for. But it is precisely for that reason that you should die for Ghana. Because if you die for someone, an entity, you do something for somebody and expecting something good in return, that is no sacrifice. Because it is not easy working for the ignorant and the ungrateful. So we have to be aware of that.
I like that soundbite. It is not easy working for the ignorant and the ungrateful.
And so we have to be aware of that. Something outside you should motivate you to work for our countrymen, because people are ungrateful, ignorant, but that should not deter you. We are not worth dying for, but it's for that reason. That shows that you are sacrificing. You're not expecting, I'm not expecting anything in return from Ghana. I mean, everything that I've done, you know, I think about Ghana. I did not want to build I could have built a cardio center for myself. Done so many things for myself, but as I said, I didn't come, you know, when I was born, my father was dead, you know, the poor, but look at where I am now. I didn't come to this world with anything, and I'll go with nothing. But whilst I'm here, I try to do God's will, and that God's will is to serve your country, a fellow man. And so I will continue to do that, and hope that my deeds will be acceptable to God.
Take a love, man. Take a love, man. Prof, we didn't even get it. Somebody like you, we can talk and talk and talk and talk. Unfortunately, this is all time will allow us.
Yes.
But before I go, I know that you're so keen on this innovation thing. You introduced Gideon to me. I wanted to talk to you. Say, go and talk to that little boy. He's doing stuff that I want Ghana to see. You know, when I came to visit too, you called one David that's also doing amazing things. To wrap it all up, what do you hope to see Ghana? How do we galvanize all these talents and turn this into this technology and innovation country that you are hoping for?
This pandemic has also shown us one thing. A lot of people have come out with variations of the Veronica bucket and others in many other things.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that the president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, is the #1 promoter of science and technology. And that is why I'm very hopeful that after all this, we'll be able to gather a few people and do the things that we are supposed to do. At the same time, for the first time again, we have resources from government to build a foundry and a machine tool center. And when we have that, then we'll be able to design things using computer, computer numerical control, and design, manufacture, and test things. And that will be the beginning of development of science and technology to serve industry, to serve agriculture, transportation, and all aspects of our national economy. So I believe that things will happen.
And we'll end on that. He believes that things will happen. Show some love for the Professor one more time. And thank you, folks, for joining us. And thank you for the hymn and the beautiful pianos playing. And we really thank you for finding time to join us.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm glad to be back here again.
Fantastic. Yeah. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Therefore, Sawope wine and Sata, me pacho P. Shishaman family wine. I'm ranting me and Sawu free Stellenbeck, South Africa, ye nature wine. Red wine I would only be any Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot and a Syrah. White wine and so, Ebony Chardonnay and a Chanel Blanc. Wopesa will enjoy wine ya. Me pacho P. White wine or 7 ice cold and a red wine and so. Maninya cook kakra. Wo pache de be dia mo penny beer. Man family wine. Wo ye party ana yie nso a ɛma rain free man family wine. RT's option was Spintex Road in Krankwa and a sole distributor ewo Ghana. At to phone for 020-811-0618 059-261-1618 and now 020-816-1601. Man family wine obia see ye nom ni nyansemu wonton many pa wonim fie dumotre en sesa penfo num bie FDA ahwehwe sa edwedie nkrato imagya to mu se eye.